Bonjour.
Was there any part of you that thought at the beginning of the journey, I could win Masterchef?
I knew the whole time. I remember there was one point, it was just before it started, I said, I literally said to myself, I was like, I'm going on this to win this. Then as soon as Bangers and Mash came out, I was like, just happy to be here. Just happy to be here. I'll see how it goes. So I never got carried away, and it's hard to go through it all. So tried to enjoy it the best I can. It was a lot of stress, but there was no point of, I can do, I've got this, I can do this. It was more about focusing on just doing the best I can on the day.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Breaking Bread, the Birmingham food podcast presented by two food obsessed mates, Liam and Carl. Sitting opposite me is the awesome Carl. How you doing, mate?
You missed handsome.
Awesome, handsome Carl.
There you go.
Yeah. And I'm Liam, as always. Just Liam.
Just Liam.
Yeah. Relaxed, chilled.
We're in your house for change.
In my house again. It's nice to change it up, but no Jez again. So if anyone's listening, they're gonna be upset. There's no Jez.
There's no dog barking in this
I
one.
quite like it. I leave it in. I do. Like, adds to the atmosphere. People like Jez. Oh, here we go. This is Jez.
Getting in on the barking.
Another long episode,
Another good one.
but it's a banger. Yeah,
You know,
I
I
mean,
say this every fucking podcast. Oh, this is a good episode. This is a good episode. People must be like, "Yo, you think every fucking episode's good?" And it's because they fucking are, to be honest. But
this one's awesome. And if you miss all the stuff, some people do really enjoy the parts where we talk about where we've been and where we've been eating, places you should eat, places you should be excited about in Birmingham, and there's loads. If you missed that, it's all on the newsletter now. Every 2 weeks, this newsletter comes out with all of that jazz on it. Yeah, so go subscribe to our newsletter. The link to that is in this show notes. So just click on the show notes, click on the link, enter your email, get this awesome newsletter every 2 weeks. Join the Breaking Bread community. Help us spread the word about how amazing Birmingham is and its hospitality. Today's episode needs zero introduction, really, which is why we're flying through this.
which is why we're doing an introduction.
No, but,
This is the intro.
he's the man, Masterchef champion,
Yeah, we got
2021.
Seems like if you're from Birmingham and you win MasterChef, you automatically get to come on our podcast.
Well, I wonder how many there's been over all the years, and then we've started a podcast and we've had two.
Yeah.
Both of them so down to earth, incredible, talented. Dan's story is unbelievable, mate. Going across the world. Oh,
Yeah,
it
it's
sounds
pretty
awesome.
sweet, yeah,
And
you're
he's
gonna
come
enjoy
out of
this.
nowhere and just won MasterChef. Love it, mate. Doing a load of pop-ups. Gotta taste his food. Got to taste his food. We've got to taste his
We've
food.
got to taste his food, yeah, I tried it,
yeah. We'll get around to it. We know about a few bits that he's got coming up that is definitely accessible for everyone, and we'll definitely get down there and try that. But just real pleasure to have Dan on the show.
Yeah, really nice guy as well.
Yeah,
Really nice.
really nice guy. Hope you all enjoy this episode. If you do enjoy it, please leave us a review, a share, do anything. Just like something on Instagram. Just any little push helps push this episode a bit further, which gets our little podcast that talks about how great Birmingham is. Might get listened to by one more person, and it gets one more person, and it builds and builds and builds. And we're aiming just to tell as many people as possible how amazing Birmingham is. That's our aim. Masterchef champion, Dan. Dan, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Tired. Cracking on with life. It's all changed a lot over the last 2 months. So yeah.
Belly lads, 100 mile per hour by the looks of it.
It is, yeah, honestly, non-stop. But I can't complain. I can't complain. It's good fun.
Does it seem real yet? That's a really cliche question, isn't it?
No, everyone says it
Does it feel real yet?
Is it real? Everyone's saying it's like really surreal. No, it still hasn't really sank in terms of what's going on. But I think that's, as I said, because I'm going like 100 miles per hour. I'm enjoying it. Like, obviously, life's changed a fair bit. Like, a lot busier than I was before. But yeah, like I haven't had time to sit down and just like appreciate it, kind of thing.
Yeah, have a proper thing.
Yeah.
I'd love someone to come in and go, yeah, of course I definitely deserve to win that shit.
You never get me saying that.
Does your family keep you kind of grounded?
No, not at all. They love it. They
do
love
they?
it more than me. So obviously, when I get home, I'm just like, I just want to switch off. I want to chill. And they just got so many questions. Obviously, they're so excited for me. They're buzzing. They're asking me like a million things. How's your day? What you got coming up? And I'm just like, I just want to just hide. I just want to just chill for a minute.
You haven't got an older brother?
Nah, I've got 3 sisters.
So if you had an older brother, they'd be putting you in your place.
That was it.
They'll come round here with this Masterchef malarkey.
Yeah, no, that's it. It shut me straight down now. I've got my older sister. She's more happy than me than I would. Like she's constantly on it. But it's nice to have the support. Obviously, it's just intense.
Yeah. So you kind of, to everyone really, you've kind of come out of nowhere. It was like all of a sudden. Oh, where does Dan work? We were like, no, when you first appeared on that first one, everyone's on Google trying to find out where you've been working around Brum, and is he from Adams or Pennells? And where did you start off then?
Well, that's it. Everyone asked me that question. I said, like, it should come out of nowhere. I think it was just because I wasn't really in the UK a lot. I didn't do the usual traditional circuit, Michelin Stars, that, and everyone always goes through, like you say, Simpsons, Adams, Pennells, and I just didn't. Like, I was a bit of a ski season bum for like 5 years, like worked in chalets, hotels. Then
how is that? That's not a thing. A ski season bum.
Yeah,
No,
ski season bum.
How is that a
That's how
thing?
Michael O'Hare started, or no? He used to just go to the ski season. That's where he'd cook every year.
It doesn't sound much like a bum life.
Okay,
It's like
yeah,
living a dream.
That's it. Because you go, if you do a ski season, you go out, you work for pennies, literally pennies, but you work for the experience. Someone will give you accommodation, they give you ski pass, ski hire, and you just go cook there, and that's it. So I was just doing that for like 5 years, back to back. Winters there. Then the summers I'd be at places like I'd do Edgbaston Cricket Ground, do the cricket season there. Basically, I'd graft agency work wherever I could work, save up money, go travel, do a ski season, just looped it, constantly did it, and that's how I learnt. So not the traditional restaurant method. I just wherever I could go to cook and learn something new, that's what I'd do. And obviously ski seasons, because you're in a chalet by yourself, you develop a style. Obviously mine was a bit rustic around the edges, but you develop it from there. But I started at UCB. So I went there for a couple of years. Terrible attendance, like 40% attendance. Like I just wasn't there. Learned a lot there. And then I did stage at Pennells. That was like the first experience I had a Michelin Star. And then as soon as I did that, I got a one-way flight to New Zealand, and that was me gone.
Is that where you met Cray at Pennells?
No, I
didn't
met
know.
Cray as soon as 670 grams opened.
Oh,
I was like
right.
straight there as soon as it opened, and like I started speaking to him. Like obviously I'd followed him before. Obviously Michael O'Hare, man behind the curtain. Like it's just I love his style of food, what he does. So yeah, and ever since then I've been 670 grams a fair few times, and then just spoke to him a lot. So yeah, he's a good guy, really good guy.
Yeah, he's friend of the show.
Yeah, he is.
2 episodes. He'll probably get a third soon.
So you're a Hall Green lads. Did you always know you were going to do cooking, or was there anything else in the pipeline? Or
Nah, I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was younger.
you
Then
joking?
Yeah,
Is that
archaeologist. Then I wanted to be an architect, and I just never got round to it. I fell into cooking when I was about 17. Obviously, family owned a takeaway when I was younger, so I grew up around that. It was good fun, but never thought like, oh, I want to cook, I want to do this, I want to do that.
What kind of food was that? The takeaway? Was it
Chinese, Cantonese,
yeah.
like traditional Cantonese takeaway, just like you get anywhere else.
still going, or
Nah, closed down. The building's gone now and everything.
Oh,
yeah,
good
so it was my
where was it?
auntie. Dudley.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Dudley way.
Oh, I wouldn't know it.
Nah, that's it.
I know most Chinese takeaways around here.
Yeah, nah.
yeah. All green, we got them all locked down. Right?
There's a fair few in all green, to be
Yeah,
fair.
there's loads, and there's ones that have been there for absolute years.
Yeah,
Though,
What's it? The Ruby's doing
the
there for
Ruby,
years.
yeah. Everyone keeps talking. I've never been Ruby, you know.
The Ruby's alright. I was like my drunken nights out. Like obviously drunken round, like when I was like 14, 15, walking around Hall Green, you walk past the Ruby on the way home.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something.
Once you tried Yow's, though, you don't really go to anyone else, do you?
Yeah,
You've been to
Yow's is
Yow's?
alright. It's just by the bridge as you go down, isn't it? Yeah. It
It's
looks
good, man.
it looks nice. I don't think I've actually ate there.
No,
I've drove
it's
past
good,
it
man.
a
It's
few
really
times.
good. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
it's
it. It's
good.
my go-to Chinese, that is.
I'll have to check that out then.
I've always said one day I'd like to do like a YouTube channel or something where I just go around all the takeaways that have been there for years. Like,
Yeah.
you know, them like just
Do it.
family-run Chineses and stuff like that. It'd be wicked, like. But I'd be massive and I like it. Even bigger than I
Yeah,
am.
that's the downfall of it. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Even bigger than I already am. You'd just be huge, wouldn't you?
Nah, it good life though. Short life, but a good life.
Yeah, I don't have a smile on my face. It'd be all right.
You won't be able to tell though.
So, when you say you fell into cooking, obviously the family-run business and stuff like that, just helping out the weekend, getting cooking in there. Or?
Nah, it weren't even that. So like that takeaway went when I was like when I was quite young, early teenage years. So going through like secondary school, I just went off the rails a bit, like proper, like just basically a little shit. Like I was just running around the street, getting brought home by police constantly, just all over the place. Went to sixth form, was doing like German, business, geography, ancient history. Lasted about 3 months at Solihull sixth form. Yeah. It just weren't for me, like the whole school going through that. Then spent the next 6 months, signed on for a bit. I was working at a supermarket again for a bit, like Waitrose, just running around, being an absolute nightmare. And then I had to go for like a careers advisor, like, oh, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? And I was just like, oh, I don't know, like I'm just a moody teenager. I was like, what did you do the weekend? I was like, oh, I'd cook something. Oh, do you like to cook? I was like, no, not really. And then they were like, oh, why don't you go like UCB had an open day. They're like, oh, why don't you go try the open day? I was like a couple of weeks later, I went to this open day. I made 3 pasta dishes, like one with creme fraiche, one with a tomato sauce, one with a cream-based sauce. Like literally after that open day, I was like, yeah, I'm going here. I'm going to do this. And that was it. It kind of clicked. Started at UCB in that September. Was that 2009? And yeah, just really enjoyed it, but figured quickly I didn't like the theory side, sitting down in classrooms, stuff like that. So that's when I was a bit like, oh, it's not for me. So I basically just started going to restaurants, knocking on doors. Like that's how I ended up at Purnell's. Well, it was actually my mum phoned up Purnell's for my 18th birthday present. Go do a shift. That was it. And then I was like Piccolinos, places like that, Shogun, Teppanyaki, just work wherever I could, and I just enjoyed that more. And as I said, I finished my 2 years at UCB. I was meant to do a third, but I just booked a one-way flight to New Zealand, and then that was it. Like I've always wanted to travel, and I figured pretty quickly, like everyone needs to eat wherever you go in the world. So if I can cook, everyone will eat. So like I can travel wherever I want, and that's how I just use that to travel.
Did you figure that out on your own, or did someone like tell you that at college? You know, if you get your head down, get a qualification, you can get cooking anyway.
No one said that to me at college. I remember when I went into this open day, because I did all right at school. Like, you know, I had decent GCSEs and stuff like that. And then I remember it was, I'm not going to say his name actually. There was a chef at the college, because he's still there. I gave him my GCSE results, and he was like, because for my course you needed 4 Ds at GCSE in anything, which I thought was pretty pointless if it's food anyway, like, because I didn't even do food at school.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you could go, go back to sixth form, do that. I was like, nah, I don't want it. I don't like it. I wanted to come here. So they almost kicked me out then. And then just constantly, I said my attendance was bad, like, just didn't really enjoy the whole class environment. So, but the practical side I loved. Like, there were certain teachers there, lecturers there that I really got on well with, and they kind of drove me to it. But in terms of travelling and stuff, it was walking around UCB one day, when I was there, a rarity, and then there was a poster on the wall, would you like to go work in Australia? I was like, yep, let's go. Applied for that. Then they got back to me, they're like, it's actually easier to get a job in New Zealand at the moment, because 2011 Rugby World Cup's coming up. I was like, yep, I'll go there. I hadn't even looked at New Zealand before. I was like, yeah, I'll do it, and that was it. Just, got that all sorted, and then got a one-way flight to New Zealand. That was hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any different now, but surely that's something you should be like saying to young chefs, like, listen, kid, do you want to travel the world? Because this will do it for you. Like, we were saying in our episode with Stuart Collins there a few weeks ago, like, I don't feel like people talk about the positives like this enough of the industry. Like, you know, there's not many industries where you could start off with, granted you're good grades, but you could start off with not very great grades, you can end up traveling the world, and then one day have your own business. You know, it's just something that annoys me a little bit, that we don't talk about the good things like that enough. You know,
I think it definitely should be focused on more. I just said, like, no one ever said to me, oh, you can use cooking to travel. I kind of just figured it out myself. But in terms of telling young chefs, like I said, I'd never had an original plan when I became a chef. I just knew I wanted to do it and enjoyed it, and I figured out I could travel from that. But a lot of chefs that are coming through now, they have that direction. Like, I want a Michelin star, I want this, I want that. So they go down the classic route. You know, it's a low-paying job. They'll go to Michelin star restaurants. They'll graft. Like, it's such hard work. It's long hours. They put through it, and that's just the general trend of it. But I think you notice a lot more now, especially because I did so many ski seasons. People are going off, like, they take it that time abroad. And I remember reading about it was Ramsey. Can't remember where he said it, but he said, like, you all got a bit too much for him at one point, so he went and did a season on a yacht. and that was it. Like, he stepped away from it, and you can escape it. I think people just need to be a bit more aware. And I said, like, I'm going to UCB a fair bit. Maybe I should, like, because it's not everyone's dream to travel. People don't want to travel. I just do.
Yeah.
And I think as a chef, especially nowadays, because it's just all the cultures, all the cuisines are crossing over. Like, chefs need to work abroad, and you don't need money to do it. That's the thing. Like, I didn't come from money at all. Like, working class completely. And you don't, because I see restaurants, like really good restaurants, like Noma, Central in Peru. Like, I've looked at doing stagiaires there. You can't do it unless you come from money. You've got to take 3 to 6 months off work. You've got to work for free. So you need to come from money to do that. And the idea of doing that, like, puts me off completely. Whereas if you go do a ski season, you go work in like a really nice chalet, a villa, yeah, you've got to get the opportunity, but it's all paid for. Like, that's how you use your cooking to travel. And then obviously you work your way through it. You meet people. You work in nice villas. You work in nice chalets. You meet people. You build a reputation that way. So it's definitely a way to go. But it depends what people want from it all. Like, I wanted to travel. That's why I went looking for it. Whereas some people, they just want to stay here, work their way up, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're producing some incredible chefs in this country. Yeah. So I think, it's just what you want from it. But I said, I like to travel. Like, anywhere I will go, try everything. No worries. I've slept on beaches. I've slept at the side of the road. Like, yeah, don't mind.
So I was going to say, when like you said, you just got one way to get to New Zealand. Yeah. What did you do when you got off the plane? Were you just like, oh shit, what am I fucking gonna do now?
So I nearly came home straight away. Yeah, I had one night booked in a hostel. Got to the hostel because I landed about 6 a.m. Got to my hostel about 8 a.m. Looked round. I was like, obviously, I just turned 19. Like, never been away by myself before. I'm literally the furthest point I could get away, and I was like, what do I do now? And it's like, I can't stay in this hostel. So I went and found an apartment that day. Like, it's crack den, absolute crack den. Like, it was bad. But I had a job lined up. So I went and met them. So I was like, spoke to them, got a job. Then, the first month and a half was horrible. Trying to start this new job, adapt, trying to find another apartment. So I wasn't in a crack den. And then it came together eventually, but I wanted to bail. It was hard. It was hard. I wanted to bail. First month, I was ready to just fly straight back.
What is it that made you stick with it?
Did you get these little moments when you travel? Like, New Zealand's stunning. Like, it's like I was in Auckland. There's like 52 volcanoes in Auckland. Just started walking around, enjoying it. Obviously, I get to know people at work, and then after a month, they were like, "We've got a spare spot in our apartment. Do you want to come? Do you want to take the room?" I jumped at it straight away. I was like, "Yeah, I'll take that room." And then obviously, once you settle in, you make a group of friends. Like, absolutely fine. So it was all right after that. But the first part was hard, and then I just took that on board everywhere I've travelled since. I was like, I'm not going to like it when I get there, or I might not. There's always a possibility, but it'll get better. And you realise, like, wherever you go, you're always going to meet chefs who are interested in the same things as you, people who are interested in the same things as you, and you will always find a connection. Like, anywhere I've been in the world, you will always meet decent people. So you figure that out eventually, but obviously the first time, especially when you're by yourself, you've got no one there, it's like, what do I do? Like, where do I go?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty daunting for me. I'd be like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah, that's the feeling you get straight away. Yeah, but then it's just about convincing yourself, like, now get through this part. Like, it works out in the end. It always has done. Touch wood.
So where did you go after New Zealand?
Where did I go after New Zealand? I came back to the UK. I started at the farm in Solihull. Monk's Path. I started working there
a lot.
That's it. Like, I worked there for actually on and off for years. So I came back. I started there for a couple of weeks. Then I literally got a phone call from the company I was about to do a winter season with, and they were like, it's the end of the summer season, we're a chef short, do you want to come out? I was like, yeah, go on. So I flew out to Sardinia, and I did the rest of the summer season there, came back to the farm for like a month or two, then went on what was my first winter season in La Plan in France. After La Plan, came back, went on a cruise ship. That was horrible. Never, ever.
Really?
Ever
So I know I've spoken to a couple of people who worked on cruise ship and they loved it.
Really?
Yeah. So not in the cooking, they're in the entertainment bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Chefs on the cruise ship, nah, not a chance. Nah. Never again. They asked me to go back, wouldn't dream of it. Like, yachts are a bit different, but cruise ships, you're pushing on actual slave labour. It's horrible. Yeah, it's 6-month contract, no days off. I don't mind speaking bad about them because they're horrible. Yeah. 6 months on, no days off. It's brutal. You stay in a cabin, you share a cabin, smaller than this room, which is obviously quite small. Share it with one person, no windows, like you're working there 12 hours a day, which obviously you can do more hours a day, but if you're no days off for 6 months, it's intense.
Yeah. They pay well.
Nah.
Fuck.
It's
no have that sort.
Nah, it's no tax, and the dream, obviously I was quite young still, so it's the dream, no tax, everything's paid for, so you're like, dreaming. And you can't spend money, so you do save because you can't physically spend. You've got no time. But then if you work out how much you're working per hour and everything, you're like, it's not worth it. Like, no, it's really not worth it. And the difficult thing for me was, you're talking about 112 chefs on the cruise ship. There was 2 British chefs on alongside me. So one of them was like the senior stew. He left after a month, and there was another commie, same position as me, who left after about a month and a half. After that, I was the only British person left. Because it's all international waters, there's people from all over the world working on there. They realised quite quickly that with a British passport, you get paid more than them. It's just how it works, which obviously it's really unfair. But that's the industry's just, that's how, that on cruise ships, that's just how it works. And then people will slowly start to turn against you, resent you for certain reasons.
So it's not a set rate then either. It's just like you get paid from where you're from. The same level
it sounds horrible. And I said, like, I'd never normally speak out about it, but no, it's wrong. It's just wrong. But then a lot of the people I spoke to, so I'm not going to say any particular countries or where they're from, but for them, it was a job. They had a job security. And so that's their balance. So like, yes, I make this much, I send this much home, and that's it. And like, I made some great friends on that cruise ship. I really did. Like, but a couple I've been out to sea, travelled, gone and see, like really good friends. But it was hard. And I said, like, I'd never put myself back to it. But on the other hand, the people I met in the entertainments, the shops, best time. They loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I was going to say, that's why my cousin liked it. So.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. But I said, like, I'm going back about 10 years now. Yeah, it might have changed a fair bit since then, but I would never go back on them. No, not a chance.
Did you learn anything? Can you take any positive from the experience, or other than the friends? Like,
it's everywhere you go. I take, like, if even it's a bad place to work, you've always got to learn something. You've got to take something away from it, even if it's not how to do things. And I learned huge numbers, how to turn out in huge numbers, like that you're talking like 1,600, like consistency, going through that. But the food on the cruise ship, I'd never, like, in terms of like what they cooked, I'd never do it again. It's basically like they rolled a turd in glitter, to be honest. Like, it's not the best food, but it's made to look really nice. Like, I'll never forget the cheese, because it's fixed recipes. You've got no room for creativity on a cruise ship. It's how they work. They're fixed. And I remember the cheesecake. It was me and this Scottish lad when he was on it, the original British guy. We had the cheesecake because he was on pastry, and he just threw one at me. Literally just bounced off the wall, bounced down. Like, they had that much gelatin in it to set it. Like, they would just bounce around. The reason you can't change it is because that is fixed. That's how they do it. It's just certain things like that. So you learn. I
suppose it's for profits, though, isn't it? So they can work out cost of it.
Yeah, that's it. It's just consistency, and it's a machine. It's an absolute machine.
Right, that sounds like Weatherspoons.
No, it's insane. I said, like, certain bits on the cruise ships are good, and I said, like, I'm going back 10 years. It might have changed a hell of a lot since then, but I learned how to do big numbers, how to cope with certain situations, and that was it. I just wouldn't go back. Like, I'm glad I did it, because I said you learn something everywhere you go. But yeah, I couldn't do it again.
Must be quite hard as well, because you're stopping off all these countries and you can't even go to them. Like, as someone who loves traveling.
But this is it. So that's how they sell you the dream. Like, you're going around, you're traveling, but you get a 2-hour break a day. So if the port's close to the city or something, you get 2 hours. You run off the boat, run around. Then once a month, you get they call it your day off, but it wasn't. You get a 7-hour break instead of a 2-hour break.
Fuck.
And that's it. So you can get out and see bits then. But obviously, occasionally, if you fall in a place where the ship can't dock quite close or something, you're spending like an hour, 2 hours getting there and back. I remember the only one I did was Rome. So Rome, it was my day off, if you will, 7 hours. But I said to him, look, I'll come in early so I can get a longer time. So I started at like 2 a.m., finished about 4, 6, went out in Rome for the day, came back to work after. I did Rome in a day. It was quality, but like, again, Rome. Yeah. And there's no time to recover after that, because obviously you don't get a day off. It's just constant. Yeah, it's a bit of it's a machine. Like, it is an absolute machine. I'd like to go back on a cruise ship as a guest, just to see how it, because it, like, it looks incredible. You walk around the guest area, it's like, wow, like, it's the whole hotel floating. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with about how the work ethic there, but I that's everywhere. Like, it happens. They're big companies. They need to survive. They need to make money. They need to keep it running. It's how it works.
Have you done the yachts then as well?
Nah, I've been tempted a lot. Not now. I was tempted when I was younger. I was like, yeah, I'll do yachts. Like, it's good fun. It's not good fun from what I've heard, but it's like, again, it's what I see chalets as. You're by yourself, or you're with a small team. You get a chance to develop your style. You've got no budget a lot of the time, so you can really push it. And like, some yacht chefs turn out some amazing food. But my worry is, if I went to yachts when I was younger, I'd stay on it. The money's appealing, like, you know, it's a lifestyle. But if you get stuck as a yacht chef, you'll be a very, very good yacht chef. And that's about it. like I know chefs that have gone on. You take them out, you put them in a restaurant. They come in quite cocky, quite full of themselves because they work for some good people and they turn out some good food. You put in a bigger volume, it's just the skills aren't always transferable. But yeah, like I've got a lot of mates who work on yachts and they say they're incredible chefs. But for me, if I did it, I probably would have just lived that lifestyle because that is you earn money, you travel. And like I'd just get in the loop of it. Like, I'd be doing it till I was like
it sounds
60.
like something you would have gone into early on.
Yeah, but I'm glad I didn't because as I said, like you get stuck into that and like you get comfortable. And as much as you can travel, you can still learn like on your time off and stuff. Like I like learning off of the chefs a bit more. I like bouncing around the kitchen. Like even though I do a lot of private work at the moment, I like the environment of being with other chefs and bouncing off them, sharing ideas. Like that's what I enjoy. I'm very much a people person. Like that's hence with traveling as well. Like I just like bits like that.
Might be being daft there, but when you say yachts, is it like just one family who owns a yacht and they get a private chef in, or?
Oh, it's mixed. So you normally get contracts. So you get charter yachts where like there'll be an owner, so you'll have owners weeks, and then you could work like a season. So it's like 4, 5, 6 months. You could do the season on the yacht, and then different guests come in and out, or it could be a private yacht, so you just work with the families on it. It just depends. Like I've got a few friends who get like a 12-month contract, so it's 2 months on, 2 months off, 2 months off. You get paid for the full 12 months, like monthly.
So somebody could own the yacht and say hire the yacht and the chef for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. So you could hire. That's it. Normally, when like it's a chartered yacht, you'll hire the whole yacht, and then you get the all staff, food, everything included. But I know. Again, like when you're talking about yachts, one guy I know who works on a yacht, his owner owns 3 yachts, and one of them had been docked in Barcelona for like a year, 2 years. Staff still rotates on it, but it's just docked. Yeah, it's not a bad life, that isn't it?
Man, especially Barcelona, it's cracking.
Yeah, there you go. So you go on, you work 2 months. If you're a chef, you cook for the crew. That's it. You leave. Just constantly do that. Yeah.
What kind of food were you doing when you were like at lodges and stuff? Was it?
In the chalets. So it was a mix. So like when I first started doing ski seasons, I worked for some companies where they give you a fixed menu. You change it a bit, like because basically there was always this thing like you have to hit budget to get your bonus. This was a lot with the hotels as well, but their menu's designed so you can never hit budget. That is quite smart how they did it. So you just start changing the menu. You do bits like that. So and it's nothing exciting. It's the standard stuff. When I went to chalets, you start speaking to guests and you say like what kind of food you want, and that's when I started developing my own style, picking bits I want. You still do your nights like fondue, raclette nights, stuff like that, but then I started playing around and cooking food I liked, and that's what I still like to think I do now. Like everyone says, oh, what's your style? Fusion, this, that. Like I don't like the term fusion. I just cook food I like to eat. That's it. That's literally all it comes down to. Not style or anything like that. Just food I like to eat.
Fusion's like 90s, like 2000s kind of thing, isn't it? Where you went on holiday and it was like, there was mad ones. Like I went to a Chinese Indian place once.
Oh, Chindians. Yeah, Chindians. I literally say that because there was a restaurant called the Chindian, a place I worked in Greece. Yeah, that's it. Like it's fusion. That's just forced into. That's just looking for profit. That is like, fusion food nowadays. It's a term thrown around too much. Like. Yeah, people like they use a bit of soy, a bit of ginger in another dish, and it's all of a sudden a fusion dish, like stuff like that, or a fusion restaurant. They're just you got to be really careful when terms fusion and fusion food, like especially in terms of like cultural appropriation with food and stuff. Is people becoming a lot more aware of that. That's why I don't really like to use the term. Like I said, like I've just cooked food I like to eat, and I'm basically a fusion person. Like I'm English, Irish, Chinese, so I get away with it. It's one of those. Like I just cook food that I've grew up around.
Same with the word authentic as well. You hear authentic, but what's really authentic? You know what I mean?
It's a hard thing.
How far back do you want to go? Like
that's it. It's difficult. Like I said, if we're touching on fusion food now, look at like, especially like in cultural appropriation with food, stuff like that. Pho, like pho or pho, PHO, like the Vietnamese noodle soup. Like, there was a little article about that, about someone putting a burger. I think McDonald's even put it into a burger. Then the argument was from a bit of the Vietnamese community was that it can't be a burger, it's a noodle soup. Like it's a noodle. How can you put that as a burger? It's a soup dish. It's a beef noodles, stuff like that. So then the guy's argument was, yeah, but I've used the same flavors, but they're like, it still doesn't make sense. Like, how can you put that but it's a soup. So then it's the wording that comes to, like, it's not a pho burger, it's like a pho flavored burger. You touch on stuff like that. But then if you're talking about fusion food, you look a bit further back to pho. Like it originated in North Vietnam, but obviously a huge French influence, and it's part of pho. They say like it's quite influenced from that. Obviously, like French broth dish, with vegetables and stuff like that. So you're talking about fusion going back years and years.
It's just shit that's always happened over time anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Like Nikkei cuisine, so like Nobu, what that all got big off it. It's Japanese Peruvian. You're talking about over 100 years ago. Japanese went over to Peru, and then you started introducing stuff like ceviche and stuff like that. That's fusion food in theory, and you're going back over 100 years. It's nothing new, but that was more of a natural development instead of what's happening now, is where people are just like, oh, I like this, let's just put it together without any history or research in how you develop it as a dish. And that's why I'm really careful what I touch on, like, in terms of trying to put stuff together, because I know Cantonese food to an extent, like I said, just because I grew up around it, but like Thai food, I went to Thailand, I learned, like, but certain other foods I know bits of, and I'm really careful not to mess around too much, because you want to show respect for, obviously, all these cultures, where the dishes come from. So if I'm ever going to start putting dishes together, I basically will research the whole history of a dish, where it came from, how it originated, why it originated, then you build from there. And sometimes it's a really simple story, like sambal stingray, which is a big dish in Singapore at the hawker centres. I looked into the history of like why did it start? Why was the sambal put on a stingray? And apparently, asked a few of my Singaporean friends, did a bit of research, and it was basically because when the fish started to go, it started to turn off. Sambal's intense, covers up the smell, covers up the taste. Right. That's how they say it started. Like just random bits like that. So you could look at that and like, okay, like stingray's a nice texture and stuff anyway, but you build from that. So it's like, okay, it's not purposely put together for one reason. It was literally because it started to go, but it works, so you can probably develop that a bit further. But yeah, touchy subject.
I think you probably hit it there on the head. It's going back, doing a bit of research, being careful, whereas a big corporation coming along and saying, I'm going to butcher something there, but like you said with the faux burger, faux sells well, but then burgers sell well, let's just whack them together, and we can make loads of money.
Exactly. And it can be done, of course it can be done. People, as I said, we go back years, like people have put this stuff together, but as I said, it's just a bit more being careful with what you do and how you do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like
respect,
that's it. It's just showing respect from where it's from. And you look at the world now. Like everyone's here, there, and everywhere. It's not like this is one place. This is one place. You have different cultures everywhere. So it's gonna happen. It should happen. Like it's how you move forward with food. And like to see all these chefs trying different things and like pushing forward with that, it should be done. But I said like just make sure you show the respect to like where it came from. Like. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, look, we're talking like we're in Birmingham.
Yeah, this is that's it, one of the most diverse places ever, and that's it. Like it's just banging at the moment. It's going off. Like so you said, and it all come together, and it will work. As I said, it's just a respect thing, like making sure like you understand where it's come from. Like the worst thing, like I see a lot of people doing is go to a cooking school, like a cooking course, like a day or 2 days long in Thailand, which is great, like learn it, understand the food, but they'll come back and they're an expert in Thai food, and they're like, people have said it to me, they've tried to correct me on this and that, and it's just like, I get it, I'm always open to learn and understand, but when I've done these cooking classes as well, like I did one in Indonesia, it was great, in introduction, I see them more as an introduction into the flavours and techniques, but then when I was in Thailand, I worked at a place called Nam, which was like, it was the first Thai restaurant to get a Michelin Star, really good restaurant. David Thompson was the exec chef, and Prin Polsup was the head chef. Like he's an incredible chef, and you learn like Thai food is not like red, green curries. Like it's not just pad thais. There's so much more. Like the green curry they had on at Nam it was from Chonburi, so it's broken down into regions, and there's no coconut in it. It was dry. Splash of water. It was a dry curry, but you'd never associate that with green curry. But that's what they were trying to teach me. They were like, it's not green curry. There's curries from different regions, like, and obviously you will get the coconutty ones with a creamy sauce through, but it's broken down completely. It's not just that. And like the chilies, the heat out there is too much for me. Like the amount of spice they actually use. And that restaurant's quite interesting. There was a pork dish, a stir fry dish they had 32 different chilies in it for one person. So if you did a double portion, 64 chilies, and this is all like pestle and mortar by hand, and we're doing 120 covers, 1-star service. It was hard. Everything's pestle and mortar. Like I loved it because it's so like you're really in the moment. As soon as them chilies hit the pan, everyone's coughing in the kitchen because it's that intense. And then because I asked for it, I was like, I can have one less spicy, and they're like, no. They're like, this is how it is. This is that's what they want to showcase. Like, this is how it should be served. But if you don't want that, we'll just recommend something else. And like I really appreciate that. Like I get it. Like they want to showcase what it is actually about. Obviously, but then if I brought it back here, that pork dish, I wouldn't do that many chilies, and then it's not as authentic. But it's what I've learned, I've developed, and you go from there. But like, I can't take 32 chilies and like a little.
Is it really out that dish?
Oh yeah, blow your head
like
off.
painful.
Yeah, like it's painful for days. like it's bad. But like it's delicious, but it's difficult to appreciate the flavour unless you can take that kind of heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Thailand. Absolutely love that place. Like it's just something else. Like because obviously I base a lot of my stuff around street food. Like people argue that's the home of street food. Everyone has street food spots around the world like they love, and like it's all started from somewhere. But like Thailand for me like really stands out of like they've nailed street food.
Yeah, I was gonna say in Masterchef, the street food round, you absolutely nailed that one. You like, it looked like you were like proper in your element with that one.
I loved it. Yeah, because like Masterchef, it's a weird one because obviously most people go for it. It is the fine dining route. They're beautiful dishes, like really dainty. I love it. It's like a piece of art on a plate. Not really my style. It's not what I go down. Like, I love it. I've done Michelin Star. I've done it all. But I just like big flavours, punchy, and it's street food. Like I love that kind of element. I'll never forget, there was a chef on one of the contestants on there, and he came up to me after, and he said, like, as soon as they announced what it was, they were like, he came up to me, he was like, you know, you've got this. He was like, this is your element. But obviously, you can't get carried away on a show like that. But like, I really enjoyed that round. They made me look really stressed, like, which annoyed me because I looked really stressed and sweaty all the time. But it was only because I was in front of a pizza oven for a bit. Then I was pouring sweat. It's like 350 degrees right in front of it. Yeah. And the bits they showed was just me running back and forth from that. So it just looks like I'm having a bit of a breakdown because I'm so sweaty. But it's not. I loved that round. I really enjoyed it.
That was the round where we watched it, and if you think, I think he might win. I think he could win this.
Watching it for you, I enjoyed that round more than anything. I think the whole experience was quite difficult for me, and obviously the beginning of competition, it was just up and down for me. Like, I struggled to find consistency. I think it was more the struggle of showcasing that style of food. And the fact they gave me a round like that I was like, I'm going to go with this. And obviously I got really good feedback. I was like, I can go with this because I was quite hesitant to do it before. I wanted to try to play around with certain things too much, to try and match it to what I say was what I originally thought the show was about. I tried and match my style to that too much. And then when it became evident that I didn't need to, that I just cook what I enjoy. That's when I started to grow into it a bit more.
I feel like, I don't know if it's edited or it's just the natural way it goes, but even with stew, it feels like the winner always kind of, they're never like the best from the beginning. There's like a journey they go on to be cut, and then by the end, it's pretty clear that they're the best in the room. Like,
I would still never say.
I know you won't say.
Yeah, I'd never say I was the best in the room at any point in that competition because I'd say we're all different chefs. Like, how can you ever say, "Oh, you're the best chef"? People have strengths in different areas.
Did it feel like a journey to you? Like that you felt like you improved gradually every episode?
Oh yeah. It's journey, nightmare, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's one of those. But like, at the beginning, it was just stress got to me. It was up and down. I said I had some nightmares at the beginning, and then it got to the point. I got to a point. I was like, I've made it this far. Like, I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to try and do what I do, and that's where your confidence builds. Like, when you get certain comments that it'll knock you down, because as I said, they're never harsh to you. Like, they're completely honest, they're completely professional. The judges, they're like absolutely brilliant about it, but you've got to take it on board. And it was trying to process that, realizing like, messed up here, messed up there, and then you grow, you develop. And like I said, like, I know it's said for like, oh, it's for a show, like you go on this journey and stuff like that, but you genuinely do. You go through a lot throughout that show. It's quite intense. You go through it all, and yeah, like I definitely grew in confidence and in what I wanted to cook and how I was cooking. Like, yeah, never again, but like I love the experience.
Obviously, I never do shit like that again. But
love
doing it.
Never walking back into that kitchen again. Like, never. But like, I'm so glad I did it. Like, it was incredible. Like, the whole thing.
I just couldn't imagine the classics test thing at the beginning. The very first thing that you do. It's like I couldn't imagine anything as scary as a skills test. And I could see you here squirming because yours was not great to watch, man.
Right, my skills test. The thing with that is, obviously, you find out you're going on the show, and you like a couple of weeks, maybe a month before, you're like, okay, this is going to be your date, kind of thing. Like, so you prepare yourself the best you can. I was just going through like LaRue. I was classics this, classics that, watching previous skills tests, like just drilling myself as much as I can. Getting my mates, my cousin, because he knew I was going on it because he was helping me out, getting him to just send me different things, like just tell me to make it. I was just practicing all these classics, and got to the day. Obviously, you fall into pieces anyway. It's all new to you. Like, it's excitement, it's nerves, it's all hitting you, and you walk through, and like, you just like Marcus just staring back at me, like, okay, here we go. This is it. Like, you're just there. Look around, they're like, oh, we want you to do sausage, mash, and an onion gravy. Just threw me completely. I was so ready for, like, I say I was ready. I was never ready at any point. I was just ready for, like, some classical French dessert or something like that, or something I'd never heard of. And sausage and mash, and I was like, I know what this is, but I just started to, like, what's going on? Like, I said, like, 20 minutes, off you go. And then everyone knocked me first straining the onions out the gravy. I still stand by this. I did not remember them saying onion gravy. Yeah, my mind went blank. My sausages burst. Like, I managed to make mash, which was all right. It's just intense, and like, it's a baptism of fire, isn't it? They just throw you straight in at the deep end, and like I struggled in a lot of rounds, but that round was that it's really like, you're here now. Like, here you go, off you go. I remember just sitting, like, finished it, plated it up, and I remember I said something like, it looks like a sad school dinner, because it really did. It was. But like, no, I got it through. It was edible, which was always a bonus. Like, it could have gone a lot worse, but as I said, sausage and mash, it was like one of those. And then who was it? Dario and Lauren after me. They were on my episode. They got the monkfish and pea and bacon ragu. Everyone said to me, I was like, oh, you got the easy one? You got sausage and mash? I was like, nah, monkfish, I can just do it blindfolded. But they know, obviously, that was it. So monkfish, I could have just, because literally on the next round, the signature round, I did a monkfish. So they knew that. I just, what can I do? Sausage and mash. Downfall.
Mate, there's no shame in like that. You see, and because we're kind of involved in the industry a little bit with what we do with the podcast and that. You know that every chef we talk to, they can do all of them tests like in the comfort of their own kitchen. But as soon as they're in front of Monica or Marcus, they just melt for some reason. You're like, man, that must be some pressure if these like real talented chefs are just falling to pieces.
That's it. It's like pressure you're not used to. Because I say in the industry, like you thrive on pressure. Arguably, you go for it, you use it to go, but it's just a slightly different type of pressure.
I feel like sausage and mash. It's like, where's the trick? Am I missing something?
That's it,
Should I be making the sausage like venison, or I should be doing something?
It just throws you off, and you're like, okay.
So then you miss the obvious points. It's like,
exactly.
I think it's like a proper. There's certain kind of like mind tricks that, when you look at the painting and like you miss the obvious thing in the painting, and it was designed so that you did miss the obvious thing.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what the sausage and mash was.
It was. I said, like, it threw me off. Like, like I remember, when we watched the what was it? Was it the night of the final? I think it was the night of the final, like lunchtime. My dad made me sausage and mash. I was like, you prick, you absolute prick. He's there with a bag of smash and like hot water, just taking a piss.
Fucking smell. I lived off that shit as a kid, man.
So like corned beef smash.
That's what I used to have with red sauce splashed into it, so it went all pink.
Proper food. That was it.
Oh, you said one set of your grandparents Chinese, one set English Irish.
Yeah, English Irish. Like, so
you were doing it like fusion years ago.
That's one of those. Like, I always remember, like I said, like the big thing was on a Sunday we go around to the Chinese takeaway because it's closed on a Sunday. We all eat round in the kitchen table, and like my auntie would do certain things for my mum because my mum obviously she's more of a like Western palate in terms of especially Chinese food. Like she'd be wanting like chicken, green peppers, and black bean sauce. If we had the chicken, it was always like the breast meat. She wouldn't eat thigh. Like so, like that's where I kind of understood the difference in palates. Like because as I said, like I technically I have a Western palate, a UK palate. Certain things I'll go over to like Hong Kong and I'll try, and it's a bit different for me. It's wrapping my head around it, and that's where I think I have a big benefit. I understand a bit more like the palates, but again, it's all to do with what people like. Food's very opinionated. Like some people like certain things, some people don't. But yeah, that I learned a lot from that. It seems random, but obviously I just pull it back in memories because at the time you just notice these things happening. But obviously I've started implementing it into, especially when I prepare dishes. Like if I'm preparing a dish in the UK, it's going to taste slightly different to if I did it, say like for my auntie, so more like a traditional Cantonese palate. So it's just finding a balance of what certain people like and what people don't. But I like it as well. It's just learning at the same time. It's just constantly learning. And yeah, I've had some nightmare dishes, but it happens.
Cool. What made you go on MasterChef?
Oh, hangover. Yeah, no, it was. I remember like I had some friends. One mate, Hannah, she was pushing me for years. Like, literally, just go on. She watched. It was Stu's one. And Liv Burt was on it. Olivia Burton, and my friend Hannah was obsessed with her, and like she was like, oh, she's so good. Like you should go. That you always want to. You're not as good as Liv. Stuff like that. I don't take it at the time because I'd not really watched much MasterChef before. So I was just like, oh, yeah, okay. And then it got to the point, like, I literally went on a weekend in London, came back on the Monday. I was a little bit hungover, just scrolling through Instagram. And I think the ad popped up, apply. And I just went for it. I just applied for it. And that was it. I did say to her, I was like, I'm going to prove to you I'm better than Liv Burt. That was the worst thing I ever said. Because literally, as soon as it started going on, I was like, should not have said that. I'm going to crumble to pieces. I'm about to fall apart. And like after I applied, it was December 12th I applied. I didn't hear anything for months, kind of like forgot I applied, didn't hear anything. And then one day I got the phone call and that was it. The process starts. Yeah. It seems a while ago now, but it wasn't even that. Yeah.
It's hard. Time concept's gone because of COVID and everything.
That's it, yeah. It's just
so we missed months.
Around everything. When did everything
Were you living in the UK at the time or were you back here?
Yeah, I was back in the UK by this point, so...
What brought you back here? Just...
So I was working in Singapore. I worked at 2 restaurants. I originally went out there to work for a place called Origin Shangri-La Hotel. We opened that. It was like a open fire grill restaurant, like whole concept farm to table, really cool. Like best beefs like I've ever worked with. Like, and I learned so much about beef, wagyus, like picking it apart, stuff like that. That was really cool. Then after there, I basically figured I did everything I could there. Like my head chef was still there because I was senior Sue. My head chef, she wasn't moving anywhere. I wanted something else. I wanted a different project. There was talks about me taking a different restaurant at Shangri-La, but then these guys opened a place called Table 65 in Singapore, which is on Sentosa Island, and they're like, look, we're opening this year. We're going for the Star this year. Like we need, like no questions asked. We're going for it. Would you like to come on? So they offered me sous chef. I was like, yeah, I'll go for that. And then we managed to get the Star after 9 months. We got it in September. Yeah, we opened it like New Year's, and then we got Star in September. Then after that, I was like, I've got nothing else to give in Singapore. Like that's it. It's ready to like 2 years, just over 2 years, ready to go home. So I said I moved back home, and then first private chef job came up straight away. I went out to Switzerland, worked for a family there who I worked for last year as well. I'm going to go work for them this year. Like, I get on really well with them. They've actually been really supportive of everything, like really, really good family. Yeah. So I moved back after that, and then COVID hit. That was it. COVID came down after I came back from there. And then there was talks about me going back out to Singapore to open a restaurant there. But then again, that fell through because COVID just carried on, as we all know. And then, ended up working at a supermarket, going through lockdown. Like, it was an interesting time. Interesting.
I feel like there's a lot to unpick there, but I've read.
No,
it's
so
good.
Much.
This is great, mate. This is brilliant. I've read a few things. I feel like Singapore was a special place for you.
Oh, it was just completely, as I said, like where was I working? I was just before Singapore, I was in Thailand. That's why I was learning a bit more about Thai food, street food, like diving into that a bit more. Then I got a job offer whilst I was just finished in Thailand, was on holiday in Myanmar. And then I got a phone call, like, come to Singapore for a trial. I was like, oh, can I come at the end of my holiday? Like, and they're like, you come now or you don't come at all. So I flew out to Singapore. It all just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, flew out to Singapore. I got like a 9-hour overnight bus across Myanmar to get to the airport. Got on the airplane, got to Singapore, got picked up, and I got dropped at Shangri-La. So obviously I've been backpacking. Like, I'm just a state at the moment. I get dropped off in the Shangri-La hotel, like the flagship in Singapore, like beautiful 5-star, just rock up, like really scruffy. And they gave me the works, like they put me in a suite. Like, I was like, wow. And then the next day they were like, right, go in that kitchen, just cook us 3 dishes. I was like, okay, yeah. No, so just pulled out whatever I could, cooked 3 dishes. They offered me the job in a day, then I flew back out. And
do you remember any of those 3 dishes?
Yeah, it was a salmon kinilaw, which is a Filipino ceviche. I did that on MasterChef. I did a pork and apple dish, pork loin, apple puree, and something else. And the final one was, it might have been the soy cured beef, also off MasterChef. I think I'm trying to like look, you're talking about early stages when I was just learning to do them. But yeah, they offered me the job in a day. I flew back out the next day, back to meet my mates who were now back in Bangkok, ready to fly home because I'd basically missed my holiday. It worked out in the end. Like 2-3 weeks later, I packed bags, moved to Singapore, and then when I got there, yeah, it's just an amazing city. Like, it's completely different. Obviously, I'm so used to being in the UK. Like it's weird being mixed race in the UK because like especially like the background I'm from, like every white British person sees me as Chinese, and then I grew up as being the Chinese. When I moved to Singapore, which was like a really obviously huge Chinese community there, everyone just saw me as white British. It was really so it's like, oh, where do I fit in? Like, but then you just find out, like I said, wherever you go, you find out the people you get on with. That's it. You kind of get a bit settled, and then the food just started. Like Singapore, like you always know, it's like this. It's almost like a futuristic city. It's clean, it's efficient, like it's an incredible city. And then I knew about the starred restaurants, like have Michelin stars here, there, everywhere. Like, but what like I don't think it's known enough about the hawker centres, like the local food. And it started to make sense when I was looking for an apartment to live in. Nowhere had a kitchen. You'd be lucky to have a microwave, or if you wanted a room in an apartment, they were like, kitchen's not allowed to be used. And I was like, how do people eat here? Like, what goes on? And then it becomes quite clear that hawker centre culture, like hawker centre is basically the street food markets, the local food markets. That's what everyone eats, and it's not about like unhealthy. It's not like it's fast food. It's nothing like that. It's everything, whatever you can think of, they have it in a hawker centre. It's all traditional. It's like chicken rice laksa. You've got like European influences. You got like Indonesian. Like there's little stores doing everything, and it's incredible because like $2, $3, $4, $5 a dish. So like £2, £3, £4 a dish. Like there's a big thing going on in Singapore at the moment. Like you can't sustain it. Rising food costs X, Y, and Z. That's what you eat. So like on the way home, like the hawker centres everywhere. You just go get a meal, and like you're not breaking the bank, and everyone can eat. Like there's no homelessness in Singapore. Like it's efficiency. It works well. Obviously on a smaller scale compared to the UK, but like I'd like to implement something like that in the UK. Because I said, like, it's not unhealthy food. Like, it's just really good food, such variety, such affordable prices. And that's how everyone's eating. It's literally a part of the culture there. And it's incredible food. You're talking about people who have done a couple of dishes their whole lives. You're talking about perfection on these dishes. It's not like someone's just decided, oh, I like this, I'm going to open it. It's like you're going back like generations that this is what they cook. But that's also a problem with the hawker centres in Singapore. See, the younger generation don't really want to go into it as much. So the older generation, like, you're losing a lot of hawker centres, like these really good places. But like, that concept of like any time of day, 24 hours a day, like you go there, you go to a hawker centre, grab some food, and walking down, I just fancy a couple of dumplings or something, just go sit down, have a beer, some dumplings. Or you finish work after a night, like, what do you want to do? We'll go like a Newton food centre. That's quite a touristy one, but it's still like you go there. There's one East Coast Park, like the one there. You go after work, like a group of you. Just get some satays, some wings, some skewers, some beers. Like maybe there's some music playing. Sometimes there's not. It's like a community centre, but it's just food based. Everything's based around food. It's not expensive. You're not spending an arm and a leg, and it's just a really, really nice environment. It's just there's nothing like it in the UK. There's nothing, or like just most places I've been, to be honest. Like a proper community little hub, just based around food. I said, like, you want some satays, go get some satays there. The chances are it'll be banging because these guys have been doing it for 20 years and know exactly what they're doing. You go, oh, someone wants some chicken rice, that's fine. Oh, someone just wants a bit of dessert, you get some sweet things from there. You're talking about like 50 stalls, some have more. Like, it's just insane. And just get what you want, and like it's just good. It's cheap, it's good, it's affordable. And that's what everyone eats there. Like, it's just brilliant. I can't big it up enough, like that whole culture. Like, I really can't. Like, I just think it's what every country needs.
Wonder why we haven't got more of them. I think it's because our hubs were like the pubs, traditional pubs, I suppose, more of a drinking, food, gastro pub, and everything seems. Yeah,
we're pretty good at it.
I feel like food's only just come in the last kind of 20 years or so, and it's like the gastro pub. It's not that affordable if it's really good. Chains have kind of bastardized a lot of it.
It is, yeah. Chains have bastardized a lot, but like, I'll big up KFC right now because I love KFC.
But I mean, like, more so chain pubs. My mate's gonna kill me for this, but because he runs a chain pub, but he normally runs pretty good ones. But I just feel like they set the bar pretty low for like. You get a lot of people saying, I bet if someone tries to do something good but quite affordable, oh yeah, it's good, mate, but I could go to Wetherspoons and get a burger for $5. With a pint. You know what I mean?
It's the cultural thing, that's it. And yeah, it's standing. So hawker centres are very much part of Singaporean culture. Like I'm pretty sure UNESCO, I can never say it. The World Heritage, like it's all under it. Like it's part of the culture. Like it's ingrained into it. Whereas you said in this country we don't have that ingrained into the culture. We've got some, but it could be now. Like, moving forward, it could be. I said the issue is we're going down chain pubs, and you can't knock chain pubs because they're cheap and affordable. But that shouldn't be the only option. Like, there's no reason that should be the option. Yeah, like they're chain pubs, they're big business, they'll wipe out whatever they can. Like they're just charging through, they will. But there's no reason that should be the only option. It has to be. But you need to do a hawker centre because the government in Singapore help out the hawker centre. You need the government to basically say, and like, not that they would, because you're talking about the same people that voted against like free school meals for kids and stuff like that. But we're not going to dive into that. But like, that's how you incorporate into it. Because like I said, like people are struggling at the moment. Like, you don't want people going hungry, especially you talk about UK, Britain, like that. Like, you're meant to be a powerhouse. Like, you don't want people going hungry. It's just bad. But then, like, this culture could be introduced, and it's how it would be done. Like, I've thought about a few ways of like doing it, but I said like I'm just like one bloke, like trying to get someone to back it, to invest it, to go for it. But I said it can be cheap. Like chicken rice. Like I served it in the final of Masterchef. Obviously, I did a completely turned up version. But if you look at chicken rice, I can go to Birmingham Indoor Market. I can get 40 chicken thighs for £22. Rice on top of that. Couple of pandan leaves, garlic, ginger. You're talking nothing. Water for a broth, water to cook the rice, chili sauce. Okay, that's probably most expensive part, building up the chili sauce. My cost price, it's less than £2 for a portion. You can serve that for £5. There's nothing wrong with that. You could probably even go cheaper if you did it on a bigger scale. Like, it can be done. Like it can be done. Like you can serve meals here, like good meals, like poached chicken, rice, broth, everything's a full meal. Like, you can charge for £5 or less if you got the right setup, the right environment to do it in. Obviously, if you start serving it in a fancy restaurant or something like that, the price goes up because rental costs go up. That has an effect. But if you basically ripped everything down to its core and put something like a hawker centre in place, there's no reason you couldn't do that. It is an option. And if you've got a couple of them, I'm using chicken rice as one example. I did like my turnip cake. I did that on Masterchef as a low back go, like traditional dim sum dish. It's cheap to make. It's rice flour, corn flour, turnips, like whatever you want to put in it, water. Like, there's ways around it, and it's not unhealthy. It's healthy food still. You're not giving someone, like I said, like something like a certain chain pub, burger, whatever. Like, it's just rubbish. So it can be done. It's just who wants to get involved and make it happen. Like, you move it forward to culture, especially talking like Birmingham, UK as a whole. Like, people are open to a lot more, like trying new things. Like, it's there, the opportunity is there. People are willing to try it. And instead, it doesn't have to be like Asian food. You just break down British dishes. Like it can be done. Like, it's definitely doable.
I feel like the first hurdle you'll face with everything is the first person you speak to about it will say, well, how much profit's in it? How much money is in it for us?
Yeah.
And then, when you say, well, I'm not that keen on the profit side of things, but I've got a real cause here. I've got a belief I want to implement. Oh, yeah, good for you, mate. But how much money am I making?
That's it.
That's
People
the
are too
first
greedy
hurdle.
about it.
It's a shame, man.
It's a sad reality, but it always comes down to business at the end of the day. And I said, like, they're touching it a lot in Singapore at the moment. Like, basically, in Singapore, the hawker centres, they need to increase the prices because food costs are going up. That's just how it works. Food costs are going up all around the world. But if Singaporean hawker centres, if they increase their prices, there'll always be the worry that we'll lose customers because someone else is doing chicken rice down the road, someone else is doing nasi lemak down the road for a cheaper price. So if we increase ours, so that's where it's really difficult balanced out there. And hawker centres don't make a lot of money at all. Like, you work hard, you do 6 days a week, you're prepping, you do it, and you do not earn a lot of money from doing it. So my idea, well, I don't know if I want to share it too much. You start pulling young keen chefs. A lot of people are interested in it. You basically, if you take a chef straight out of college and you say, look, I'm going to give you your own stall, you're going to perfect these 1-2 dishes, like, that is yours. Understand how to manage it, understand how to own it. Because a lot of chefs come out of college, they're cocky, they think they are a chef already. I was like, you're only just beginning. Like there's so much for you to learn. So if you took these like young students and everything, you give them some responsibility, like, perfect this dish, run it, understand the business side of it, understand the clean down, because that's one thing, like UCB, College of Food, they don't teach how to clean down. Clean down's a big important part of any practical, but it's never even like really shown. Like, sweep a floor, mop a floor, like, it's stuff you need to learn. Like, it seems pretty basic, but yeah. So you give them a little thing to basically run, control, understand the industry a bit more. Okay, you're bored of that dish. Okay, go into another store. You swap with someone else. You learn, and then by the end of it, you've learned 40 dishes, all to perfection. You've learned how to run like a small business, and you can go off from there. And obviously, you're straight out of college. You don't need to pay them like a huge head chef's wage, because it's basically like almost like an apprenticeship scheme. You're building them through it, and that's how you keep the running costs low. And instead, you're not looking for fancy tables or anything like that. You're literally talking about just tables laid out, good to go. A central pot wash area, so every plate's the same. It all goes around. So that's how I saw it working in Singapore. But I said the only difference I'd swap out who's working for you. How does it work?
Yeah.
So sounds a bit like. Have you been Asia, the food hall?
No, I was about to go in today, but I went to Chung Ying instead.
Oh man, it's pretty. Oh, Chung Ying's good though. I think, from what I believe, I don't know too much about the business side of things, but from what I've heard, is each outlet is like their own business. They're all business owners.
Yeah.
So they get to do their own thing, cook their own food, keep their own profits.
How expensive is it?
I can't remember, to tell you the truth, but it's
is it affordable for everyone?
There's going to be something that's affordable for everyone.
Yeah,
There's different entry levels. There's probably sushi that's going to cost a fair few quid because that's the nature of sushi. But then when I went, there was a dude. He was doing spicy noodles, like hand pulling the really thick noodles. That wasn't expensive at all. And there's a good mix. We got street food, and I don't want to hate on our street food because I love Digbeth Dines and all that, but it's not affordable.
It's not affordable. Okay,
but I understand why. I do understand why, because we've obviously we're good friends with Andy Lowe and Slow, and I understand he goes and meets his farmer. It's like he meets the cows, he meets the shit, so he knows it from source. I understand why he charges more, but I also don't understand why there isn't something more like what you were talking about that's more affordable. Did you ever work in a hawk yard while you were over there?
No.
No, you didn't.
No, literally just hotels. Shangri-La Hotel and then Table 65.
Well, I suppose most of it's like families that have done it for years. Like you just.
That's it. Yeah, he said there's a few young ones coming in there doing like burgers and stuff like that now. So it's quite interesting to watch how that developed in the side of it as well. But like Asia, I need to go check that out. It sounds like decent. Like my sister said it a few things. It's just variety and it's an option, especially for people. It's difficult to open a restaurant now, the amount of money it costs and stuff. And there's so many chefs, like talented chefs, like people ready to go, but it's just finding investment and stuff. And like I said, like there is no street food culture it's growing, but like around there's not. So I'd say like you said Digbeth Dining Club, but it's not a street food place. It's an international food place inspired by street food. But that's just word. I think it's great what they're doing. Like it's incredible, but
they broke through because you got to remember, especially in Birmingham, might have been different in London, but before Digbeth Dining, street food was a clapped out old burger van at the side of the lay-by,
exactly.
That was our street
They changed
food.
the whole concept, and it's brilliant. Like how they did it and what they've done with it. Like so many people have come out of it. Like personal opinion, I don't associate it with street food. Because street food to me is literally food for the people. It's off the street. Anyone can go up. Anyone can afford it. That's why I'm big on the hawker centre stuff. It's not expensive. You're not going to be priced out. You'd never pay entrance. So Yaowacha Road in Thailand, which is known as like the home of street food, the origin of street food, like some people refer to it, that you're not going to pay to go down that road. You go, you get a cheap meal and you get there. That's what street food is. Anyone can go get it. So that's why I'm just careful with the phrase. But that's just a personal opinion of mine. That's why I don't like throw around the term street food. I'm inspired by a lot of street food. But in terms of street food in the UK, it's still, you're talking about the burger vans because they're cheap. Like that is what street food still is in the UK.
Yeah, outside a football ground.
Yeah. So I have a lot of good memories of them. Like that's it. It's just street food. It should be approachable, and like the whole idea of street food is like anyone can go for it. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on like a £2 million house or you're sitting on a bit of cardboard. Like you can still, you can get there.
Tokyo is a lot like that.
Yeah,
you go down like it's a rude name, but Piss Alley. And you go down, it's just these tiny little bars, and you got someone in a fancy Armani suit, and then just someone that's they look like cleaner. They might not be a cleaner, but
but like it's that
just sat next to each other in this tiny little bar, both eating the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it costs nothing.
Yeah, that's what it sort of should all be about for me. Like, that's what street food is to me. Essentially, like anyone can get it, anyone can afford it. It's accessible to everyone, but like. It's just difficult. As I said, like it always comes down to profit. At the end of the day, it's business. Like I'll open a restaurant. I want to make profit. I want to make business off it. Like it's just how it is. But at the same time, I'd love to do like a hawker centre alongside it. And that's where I see like a bit of a balance in the universe kind of thing.
That's it, man. I'll get Andy straight on the blower. UCB, try and make it happen.
Yeah.
It's like what I said to Zoe in our last podcast. I said like profit shouldn't be the be all and end all of your business. It shouldn't be. Profit should be like water for us. So. We can't survive without water. Yeah. But it's not the be-all and end-all. We're not thinking about it all the time, obsessed with water. And for a business, that should be like profit. So businesses need profit to survive. It's a horrible fact. It's just the way it is.
That's it. It has to work. People
but it shouldn't
money,
be. Profit shouldn't be the be all. The money shouldn't be the be all and end all. It should enable you to do whatever your real goal is. So in your case, obviously, to just do affordable, good food for everyone.
Like it seems like it's proper cliche, a bit dreamy, like, but it's just it'd be nice if that was the ideal world. But as I said, like, it'll always come down to money at the end.
It'll
of it.
always be you need an investor, and the investor's going to want to know how much the return's going to be, and it's going to
be a greedy landlord.
That's it. Like I said, you're dreaming way too big here. But like I said, this is when you get the government involved. Like, you get them, like, because it can be done. Like, the system can be put in place. It can be done. But then, like,
as you said, they're happy to let school children starve. So what chances?
This is it. Are you going to ask them like, we want to feed the population? Like, how do you feel about giving us some land free of rent or something like that to get it going? I'm like, no. Like, I say I'm not going to touch on government too much. They just they want money and they like money.
So man, it feels like Singapore kind of lit a fire under you.
Oh, it did. Like it did. Like I said, like, it's just, it relates to Birmingham, like, in ways like it's just so diverse, multicultural. And like every country has their problems with X, Y, and Z, but everyone gets on here. Like, it works. Like, Birmingham's just a buzzing city, and the foods, like all these different cultures, it shows in the food and stuff like that. And the same with Singapore, like your hawker centers, it's all influenced. Yeah, like, it's part of their culture, but you know, it's Malays, Indonesians, India, like, they're just influences from everywhere. And like that's what Birmingham is, a cultural hub, isn't it? Like, it's just going off at the moment. Absolutely love it.
It is, my Birmingham's kicking at the moment, really going.
Yeah,
it's got some place
getting better and better as well. It's got some wiggle room to get even better still.
Oh, it's gonna keep getting better. Like, I'm just watching everywhere pop up, because I spent so long away, and I wasn't even planning staying in Birmingham, and then it came quickly apparent, like, Birmingham is just, like, it's going off. Like, it's the place to be at the moment. Obviously, Masterchef and now announced they're moving to Birmingham, so that's great.
Yeah, that's good. You had that release the other day, don't you?
Yeah. So that's obviously huge news.
Well, it makes sense. People from here keep winning it, so you might as well just have it here, man.
It's good for Birmingham as a whole, isn't it? Like, they're doing it in Digbuff, like, the studios going in Digbuff. Like, it's just, it's just Digbuff. Like, we're here now. Like, it's on the mend. Well, you took me down a dark alley for this one. But no, it's on the mend. Like it's just popping up. Sturchley, all the places popping up in Sturchley at the moment. Moseley Village has always been there. Like, it's just it's banging. It's really good. It's really good. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah. It's an exciting city, man.
So before I interrupted you about Singapore, you mentioned briefly that you worked in a supermarket during COVID.
Yeah.
Like, you went from a Michelin Star restaurant in Singapore to a supermarket, stacking shelves. But did you kind of feel like, you know, because you grafted hard, you had jobs like the cruise ships, you've put in the graft everywhere, really. Like, you didn't feel like that was below you. You just thought, no, I need a job, I'll do anything.
Yeah, like, that's it. Like, I'll never look at a job, like, look down or anything. Like, you got a bone, like, lockdown. It kicked off. It was hard. No one knew what was going on. Like, I was locked at home, couldn't do anything, couldn't go out. And then I was lucky to get a job in a supermarket. It got me out. I'd take I was doing 16-hour days at Tesco. I loved it. Like, just working, grafting, and until speaking to people. You know, like, lockdown was hard. Like I said, I'm quite a sociable person. I like to talk, and I couldn't. Like, don't get me wrong, my sister's great company, but like, only so much of her voice I could take. So it's like, it got to the point. It's like, I was out the house. I was just grateful to have it, and and it was. I'm quite OCD, like, at times. So like, I had this aisle, like, the fresh, like, so it's like milk, creams, but it's like dairy, fresh food aisle. Yeah. Like, that was perfect. Like, I just I'd get everything off in the morning, quick as I can. Like, stack all the shelves, load them up. Just stand at the end of the aisle, wait for someone to take something, run down, just replace it, pull it forward. Like, just make little, like, gains for myself. And like, the people that worked there were great. Like, obviously, we're all going through the same thing. A few people from hospitality started at the same time as me, you know, because everything closed. It all basically went to shit, didn't it? So I was just grateful to have it. Like, it was a really good experience, kept me going. It's not just in terms of like paying the bills, like, just mentally. Like, I was grateful to be there, to be honest. It was cool. I met some nice people there. Like, my first supper club I did in Lichfield. The woman, Annette, who I worked with on Fresh Foods Off, she came straight there. She was there sitting on a table. Like, it was really nice.
Nice. So you still talk to a few of them?
That's because it's my local Tesco. It's Tesco,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Robin Island. So like, that's it. Like, I still pop up there and grab some stuff from there.
What did they say? Like, I can't believe you won and stuff. Like, it must be mental.
Well, when I was working there, they didn't believe me I was a chef. Like, I was just saying, like, I'm a chef. They're like, what do you know? Like, you really? No. And when I left, I made a cheesecake. I brought them in a cheesecake when I left. But like, they're really happy. The people I spoke to, they're buzzing.
So what did you do? Did you go back over the tunnel and say, "Told you this was a chef."
No. That's it. Like, I've been in, like I said, a couple of times since, but obviously normally got mask and covered up. Like I kind of hide it away. A couple of people there recognise, but yeah, it was just a mad experience to think I was, there. But I said, forever grateful for it.
I know you're very down to earth. Was there any part of you that thought at the beginning of the journey, I could win MasterChef?
I knew the whole time. I remember there was one point I said, it was just before it started, I said, I literally said to myself, I was like, I'm going on this to win this. Then as soon as Bangers and Mash came out, I was like, just happy to be here. Like, I'll see how it goes. So I never got carried away, and like, it's hard to go through it all. So yeah, I just tried to enjoy it the best I can. It was a lot of stress, but there was no point not one point I was like, yeah, I can do, like, I've got this, I can do this. It was more about focusing on just doing the best I can on the day, which sometimes didn't work out too well.
I don't think the cameras do it justice, but it's hard graft, isn't it?
Oh yeah, really hard graft. Like, it's just mentally preparing for everything. Obviously, the pressure of being there. It's a new environment. It's a new kitchen. Obviously, you're still adjusting because you got to bear in mind it's not a kitchen. It's a studio. Like, so you're adjusting around that. But like the whole team, like everyone behind them, like they're really good. They're supportive because obviously they've done it for years. It's the same team. They know how to look after you. Like, and like a lot of still speak to a lot of the crew. Still speak to a lot of contestants. It's a really nice environment. Like, we all kind of supported each other. But at the same time, it's just huge pressure. Like, it's a lot to go through. It's all new. It's just trying to, like, if anyone was going on a show, it's like, just remember what you're doing. Like, you enjoy to cook. You like to do it. Stay humble. Like, don't be the guy that goes on and,
cocky big balls.
Yeah, don't do that. Just try and enjoy it. And as I said, like, cause you can go in as cocky as you want. Like, but in reality, unless you've done it before, you don't know what that kind of pressure's like. You don't know what it's like. You could be really good doing this and that, but it's a completely different environment. So you gotta be careful with it. Like, so just try and enjoy it, be humble, and like, it's a great opportunity. If you make it on a show, it's just a great opportunity to be involved in, to be part of. So just make the most of it.
Yeah, so you're definitely making the most of it now. So you were straight off to where'd you go straight after you won?
Where did I go after I won? Oh, Jersey, that's it. Yeah, I worked for a family in Jersey for the past couple of summers. Really nice family, and obviously they didn't know, so that was quite nice because it was a complete switch off.
Has your rate gone up now?
Yeah, it might go up a little bit, but I'm not really doing private chefing at the moment because obviously everything else just popped up, started going like bang.
I bet it's just your phone's just off the hook.
Yeah,
you've got to get an agent, you got to get this.
That's it. Hopefully signing with my agent tomorrow. Like, that's been a long one because it's all new stuff. Like, I'm trying to enjoy it. I said it's a lot of admin bits, like trying to juggle everything. I've had a lot of help from like a Masterchef, obviously give you support to like help you through this stage, but obviously it's new to me. It's quite intense. It's just non-stop. I just want a holiday, to be honest. Like, I really just want a holiday.
Do you have anyone in the industry or anything you can chat to, like, to help you through it, or like give you a bit of tips? Or
that's the brilliant thing. Like, Stu dropped me a message as soon as we won. He was like, they meet up. So me and him grabbed a coffee. Alex Webb, who won last year, he gave me a phone call, like, just talked me through it all. Like, Glyn Purnell, like, he'd said anything you need, like, just drop me a message. Like, this community's been so supportive, like the whole industry. So it's really nice because it's just a bit full on, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Like, it's such good fun. I've had some amazing opportunities come for it, and like, I'm forever grateful. But I think, it's just still a bit trying to get my head around it. It's intense. It's weird.
So you're doing stuff with Stu, aren't you, at Hampton Manor?
So me and Stu are doing doing a menu together. 2nd of March, 9th of March, 11th of March. That'll be good fun. Like, I love that. Smoke's just an incredible restaurant.
Yeah, I've been there. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I like Stu's style of food, like, and everything. It's just a nice little thing for Birmingham as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I was writing the menu up today, actually. We'll finalise that, so that'll be good fun. Interesting. Yeah, all this new stuff, like Stu Dealey, like Glyn Purnell, they're speaking to me and that. Like, it's just weird. It's just weird for me. Like, I still can't. Yeah, like loads of messages. So I'm like all these huge chefs I've always looked up to, just like congratulations, this and that. It's just mad.
It's Cray not tried to get you to do something with him.
Cray, I said to Cray I'd do something. I'd love to do something at 670 grams. Well, I keep pestering him to do it, to be fair.
Oh man, you could do like a Great British Menu / Masterchef.
Good luck trying
the ultimate crossover.
Good luck trying to pass that across them two shows. Like,
I don't think it's ruining any secrets, but obviously Masterchef's filmed a little bit before it goes out on telly.
Yeah.
Where did you watch the final?
We watched the final. I watched it. Cuban Embassy.
Did you with all your family? And
Yeah.
stuff?
So like, obviously, it was really difficult because no one knew, and I was like, I can't invite people. It's like, what do you say? It's like, do you want to come to Cuban Embassy was it a Thursday? Like next Thursday? Why? I just like it's like it's a bit of a random one. Like but yeah, I got a few friends, family. I told them on the day before. It's like, yeah, just got a little room there, set up a projector and watched it there. It's good fun.
Yeah, good.
But then I had to go straight to Manchester the next day to do BBC Breakfast. But like, if you ever actually saw the interview, I was sat in a hotel room, literally 2 minutes from the studio, because I was so ill I couldn't do it. So I did it on Zoom. I was like, yeah, just like, just get through this like 10-minute interview and do it. But that was mad. The night of the final was crazy. I was in this taxi going to Manchester. Like, my phone went mental. Like, I've never seen anything like it. So I had to turn it off. Like, it was just that was a bit much. Threw me off. But yeah, no, here we are. It's weird, like, I'm sat with you two now. Like, obviously, like, it's all still a bit surreal for me. Like,
yeah, you've reached the big leagues now.
Yeah.
Never mind BBC and all that. Who are they? Awesome, man. I feel like we got everything kind of in, and we've took a good hour of your time, and you're a very busy man. Yeah, man, it flies, doesn't it?
It does, man. I just ramble, mate. Like,
anything you want to plug, or
what am I doing? I'm gonna do something with Wine Freedom.
Yeah, I love Wine Freedom.
Yeah, I'm so big like speak to them like in the next week. No, this week. Yeah, this week. Fucking hell, going now. Something with Wine Freedom. What else am I doing in Birmingham? I'm doing a T20 England India. I'm basically just gonna wrap my head around it. I want spots to do stuff in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Based around the street food concept. So I'm happy to do Hampton Manor with stew, obviously, but it's pricey.
I found smoke very expensive for what it was.
Yeah, but like,
it's good.
It's
but
brilliant.
It's expensive.
It's brilliant. But that's it. Like, using the best quality ingredients. That's how it works. So like, I just want to do like, I need to get in touch with like places like just pubs. I like to like, you're talking like Prince of Wales, places like that. I just want to shout them like, look, I'll come. Just jump on, like I just do a night, just bang out, like not nothing fancy. I'm talking like little bamboo trays of food, like just turn it out one night. That's what I want to be doing. As I said, like I just it's trying to get in touch with people, like dropping a message, and then it goes to, what's the rate, what's the fee, and it's like, no, I just want to come and just turn out food, like that's what I want to do.
Just do something.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, the Wine Freedom stuff would be good.
Wine Freedom would be good.
Area now, that's good.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward
to it.
We've
had them on. I love Sam and Taylor.
They're wicked, really, aren't they? Yeah, that's it. So, because I filmed I filmed this art project, and I filmed some of it at Wine Freedom, some of them at 670 grams. It's like the guy, Master Yunlong's, he's a Feng Shui artist in Singapore. He was the one funding the whole restaurant if I was going to open it there. But obviously that fell through. So he's a painter. So he sent me some paintings, and I recorded them like all around Birmingham and London, basically looking at the links between like wine and paintings, food and paintings. It's quite cool. That's on YouTube now.
Because your little bit on Masterchef, that was in Digbeth, wasn't it? You know,
yeah.
Your hometown, that was Floodgate Street, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all Floodgate going down there, because they were like, we can't go down the canals because Stu did the canals. Like, I was like, just take me to Chinatown. I was like, where else? And I was like, Digbeth's pretty cool at the moment. Like, we'll go Digbeth, and that's it. Yeah, we just film around there.
Just feel like you leave Birmingham and was like, oh, you've got loads of canals. It never fucking crosses my mind how many canals there are in Birmingham. It's like if someone said what's special about Birmingham, I don't think I'd even bring up canals. I think it would be so far down the fucking list that it would just never get a mention.
Really?
Yeah.
I always say canals. I always big up the canals. I always big up the canals. Love it. Birmingham's just a banging city, isn't it? Like, it's just the way it's going at the moment. Obviously, Commonwealth Games are going to pump a load more money into it and stuff like that. It'll keep getting better. Just as long as it doesn't get too expensive is the worry. Everyone's
especially at the moment. So I don't know if you've ever heard it. You might have, you might not have. These are quick fire questions. Again, I always say quick fire.
They're never quick fire.
No, ramble.
They're super easy. You definitely know the answers to them. What's your favourite TV show?
Game of Thrones? Are we talking like series?
Yeah. Just what's on the telly that you like watching?
Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty, man. I love that. So funny.
Rick and Morty.
It's deep as well, though.
Rick and Morty.
It's really deep. You're like, shit.
Yeah, no, I'm really, Rick and Morty. What
like, if you take a load of drugs and watch it, it's just like, fuck.
I'm not going to tell you how I watch it, like.
What's your favourite movie?
These are not easy questions, man.
See, this is the show I think about all the time, like all day.
Like, to say what my...
Well, you don't have to be like classically. Just that film's I'm fucking watching that. Definitely, I love that film.
Gladiator.
Someone said
Gladiator
Gladiator.
Troy. I like Star is Born. That's a good emotional one.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like emotional films. Something that'll make me cry.
I was gonna say you cry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sad that film
100%.
is, man.
Yeah, I ain't seen it, but I'd.
I said it at cinema. It's one of them when you're sitting there at the end going, "I'm all right. I'm all right."
Which one? Star is Born.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was not all right at the end of it.
Mate, I was watching Sing with my daughter today, and I'm not joking. It's like the 8th time I've seen Sing.
The
and
Disney one?
The missus walked in, I was tearing up. Man, this is one particular bit. She was like, "You crying at fucking Sing?" And I was
No.
like, no.
I
Get
got
out.
goosebumps a few times at Sing 2, you know.
Yeah, it's feels in them films.
I'm not a
man.
massive U2 fan either, like, but the bits with the U2 songs are good. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, cartoon podcast.
What's your favourite band or DJ or artist?
Bob Marley. I know, like that's just. I love reggae.
Yeah.
I like.
Bob Marley's like the Traveller's favourite art.
Yeah, just
Just as well,
everywhere you go,
everywhere
everyone
he's
knows
there,
Bob
innit?
Marley. Nah, like that's a mix one. Bob Marley. Because my favourite song changes. Like I like a mix of music. Like, I went to see One Direction by myself. Like that's the standing Etihad Arena.
Do you have a favourite cookbook?
No. Not a particular one, no.
No, nothing stands out. You know
No,
what? Some,
no, like,
a lot
there's
the
loads of
chefs,
good
they don't
ones.
Have, some people rather reel off like a long list of cookbooks. They had this one. Or there's people just like.
No, I have a lot of
Nah,
cookbooks.
I have,
Yes,
but
I
there's
love a
no
lot of
favourite.
cookbooks. I love it, but like no, in terms of a favourite, no.
Can you recommend 3?
3 cookbooks.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's like, is it Szechuan Kitchen or something like that? It's like 60. It's about 20 quid on Amazon. Like Szechuan Cuisine or something like. It's a red book. It's just really simple. That is an amazing book. Macarons by Pierre Chem. Oh, what? I can't say the name in French. Obviously, a great book on macarons. Like, it just works. It's just difficult. Yardbird. It's like charcoal something and fire or something. That's a really cool book. Nah, that's it. That's it. I've got loads because I'm thinking like Sat Bain's book's incredible. Heston's book's incredible. Like Corey Lee Bennu, I've been looking through that recently. There's like Igni, which is like an Australian one. Like I can just list because I literally have piles and piles of cookbooks which I go through. Ones that stand out, that Szechuan, because I'm currently going through it. I'm trying to learn about Szechuan cuisine and stuff like that. So I'm really into that at the moment. It's mad. Like, it's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Really cool.
You know, I've got cookbooks, and the cookbooks I never intend to cook from because the stuff in them's so technical, and it would cost me so much money to make the dish. It's cheaper just to fucking fly to the restaurant.
Yeah, no, that's
fucking eat it.
A lot of them is like this is why it's difficult about cookbooks when you go into a cookbook. Like, you're looking at certain like restaurant cookbooks and stuff. You can't pull it off. Like, you just can't pull it off at home. But it's nice to see how they do it. That's why I appreciate it, especially when I get into an environment where I can do these things. Like, it's nice to play around with. But it's more like just the approachable cookbooks. I like the ones that you know like that.
My favourite.
Yeah, it's the ones you can actually cook at home. Like,
the ones that got all the dog-eared ears and they're covered in splatters of something.
Yeah,
the
pages
ones that
stuck together.
Like, I've got cookbooks that are for display. Like, they're just out on show, or they're the coffee table.
That's
cookbook.
just to have
like,
there.
Perfect, pristine condition. Never going to cook anything from it, but it's fascinating as fuck to read and just see the techniques. You're like, shit.
That's it. Was it my dad lives off this cookbook. It's called the 10, 20, 30-minute cookbook. And you're going, this must be about 30 years old now. It is awful. But he lives off that cookbook. But if he does listen to this, his food's great where he cooks from it.
Perfect. I think we might know the answer to this one. What's your favourite big fast food chain?
KFC, hands down.
Yeah, man, that's my one. 100%.
Hands down.
What's your favourite takeaway?
Thai's expensive in this country.
Yeah,
though.
it is,
like,
man.
Like, I get it, the ingredients, I get why, but like, so expensive. So expensive. Like, I was gonna say Chinese, but like no, it's Thai. It's Thai.
Yeah,
Thai's my treat.
Chinese flavour to it, and it's just got like a next level flavour.
Yeah, it's fresh and stuff, and like I see a lot of Chinese takeaways in this country. It's stodgy, it's greasy, it's heavy. Like, so I leave towards Thai. Obviously, more traditional Chinese food, I don't see it as a takeaway because you can't really just get it from the takeaway. Yeah. No, we didn't touch on MSG today. Fine. No, I'd love to go into MSG. MSG is great, and everyone should use it, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I've kind of read a little bit about this. It was like something that was just demonized by everyone, wasn't it? Like in the 2000s and stuff.
Like it's just got such a bad reputation. Like people touch on it being like xenophobic, racist, the approach, because it was called like Chinese takeaway syndrome or something like that. When you feel bloated, you feel greasy. And it's like no, like the reason you feel like bit crap occasionally after eating a Chinese is because that the Chinese like dishes have been quite adapted into what we're talking about, the Western palate kind of thing. Like it is greasy, it's heavy. It's not that's not how it is in like you go to Hong Kong places like that. It's not it. But like MSG got this bad reputation because like some doctor wrote a report in America, of course, in the 60s about like how like people were getting headaches, bloated after that, and they just linked it to MSG. MSG is completely natural. It's literally, so like obviously you talk about the 5 basic tastes. Like if you salt, you want something more salt, you add salt. You want sweet, you want something more sweet, you add sugar. You want something more umami, you add MSG. If you're gonna down a cup of salt, you're gonna be very ill. If you're gonna down a cup of MSG, you'll probably be very ill. But there's like in balance, it's absolutely fine. It's completely natural. It's been like it was found like they put it together, like a Japanese scientist put it together like over 110 years ago. Like it's completely natural. There's nothing wrong with it. Like
this American scientist probably done some experiments, but didn't take into account like their lifestyle, whether they smoked, whether they drunk, like how healthy were they to begin with.
Well, that's it. So when they looked back at it, they looked at all these different the factors, like the original research, if you will, and it wasn't balanced. There was no like control of the groups or anything like that. It was just someone said it, and from literally that report, it's built this reputation that MSG is bad. Like, and you see packets and places now saying no MSG, and it shouldn't be like that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's completely natural, and it tastes banging. Like absolutely, like, it's just pure umami. Like, I'm not saying use it in everything, but like it is. Yeah, there's nothing.
Why does it come into the packet? Can you just go into like a supermarket and grab it?
Yeah, just going to Day Inn in Birmingham, like 3rd aisle along, bottom left hand side, clear packet. There's a big one and a small one. It's red writing, clear packet, and it just looks like crystals, like little like big grains of sugar. That's it. It's cheap and it's banging. Like you put in stock, soups, and you're talking about MSG's like its natural occurs in different foods like tomatoes, cheese, like that umami, the glutamates and stuff like that. They're there anyway. It is natural, and your body can't tell the difference between say if you've got it from you ate a tomato and you've got the glutamates, the sugar and stuff from that, or if you've just eaten pure MSG, like there's no separating in the chemicals. They're exactly the same. It is completely natural. It's just got this really bad rep, and it just shouldn't have. Like
That's mainly because a lot of people that have a Chinese in this country, usually if I've had a Chinese, then I've probably had a good drink before because I'm getting takeaway, so I'm treating myself. And I'm not joking, I've probably ate about 3 people's worth of food.
Yeah.
So I'm going to feel like shit the next day. I've had just ate like 2 trays of food.
You have 2 plates. Like you don't normally have 2 plates of anything for dinner, do you?
I remember, was it when Big Wat used to be open? Like you smash through plates there. It's like how many can you do? You come out, you're feeling bloated. It's like, what was that?
Roll out to the
it's like I know it was me. I just like ate myself into a coma.
But you're not sitting there going, "Oh, it's that fucking MSG, man."
No, you're not.
You were years ago. I feel like up until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, it was being demonized. Like everyone kind of knew, it was common knowledge. Oh, MSG is really bad for you. But nobody knew why.
Like, I grew up knowing that. Oh, I don't have that. It's got MSG in it. Oh, there's too much MSG. And then these packets, like restaurants, that say we have no MSG, no MSG. There's no need to say that. Like it's absolutely fine. It's like the same. So I've got no salt in my restaurant. It's like it tastes like shit then, doesn't it? Like, sorry, I told you I'd ramble on.
Mate, it's how it rolls. To be honest, what's your favourite dish that you cook at home?
Larb. Like it's like mincemeat, pork basil. It's the stuff I did on the Masterchef Street Food. I put it on a flatbread. I literally do that on rice. Done. Yeah, so it's literally garlic, shallots, chili, chopped up, pork mince, stir fry, fish sauce, oyster sauce, sugar. Cook it all off. Add Thai basil at the end. Put it on top of rice. Done. Easy. And
sounds nice. Not that unhealthy or anything.
No, it depends on the fat content. You put mince, but like apart from that, it's quite salty. But I said you have it with rice, just banging, quick, easy to make, really easy to make. And then to cook rice, get a rice cooker. None of this mess around with pans and stuff like that. That stresses me.
So the missus like, you're not getting a fucking rice cooker. I've got that many things. She's like, you want an ice cream? You're not having an ice cream today. I'm not having a rice cooker.
Come on,
There's no
man.
room in any of the fucking cupboards. It's just full
Get
of
a rice
stuff.
cooker. Get a rice cooker. Like honestly, it's just and like you like my auntie showed me how to cook like a soy chicken in a rice cooker as well.
Yeah, I've seen you can
Yeah,
cook
you can-
other stuff in them.
Yeah, but like honestly, rice cookers are the way forward. People are debating like how to cook rice, this, that, just buy a rice cooker.
Yeah, it does.
Every like I said, like Nam, the Michelin Star Thai restaurant. How did they cook their rice? Huge rice cookers. Everyone uses rice cookers. It makes
Literally had this conversation today.
Yeah.
So freaky.
I'm passionate about rice cookers.
I'm controversial. I don't cook rice anymore.
What do you do?
I get the Uncle Ben's, man. 2 minutes in the micro.
Ah, man. Nah.
I'm not that fussed on rice anyway. Like, so I'm
Rice
just
is my
like,
passion. Like, right, I
yeah.
do it. But instead of the Uncle Ben's, it's called VT.
Oh, is it the white plastic?
Yeah, white plastic
I've
one.
had that
Their
one.
Thai jasmine rice pretty like that.
Good.
That's the one I'd go for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Nothing
doing.
against Uncle Ben.
I don't mess with rice. I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes I cook it and it come out like rice pudding. I hate rice pudding. I'm not really overly fussed on rice anyway. I prefer whatever's on top of it. So I'm just like,
I see. I live off rice. Like I have a rice cooker going just throughout the day and just go
Straight on it.
rice and sweet corn's my big thing. Love
I
rice
get
and
that.
sweet corn.
rice and vegetables full stop, like rice and peas, rice
Yeah.
and everything like that's quite nice actually.
Yeah, so you've convinced me now. I'm gonna have to get the rice cooker.
Get the rice cooker. Get the rice.
So I get through a lot of rice as well.
Siobhan's gonna kill both of you.
I know. Yeah. She's gonna
I got like 6 rice cookers, mate. It's worth it.
We might know the answer to this one as well. What's your best food destination in the world?
Ooh. I want to say Thailand. I got a feeling when I eventually make it to Japan, it could be Japan. Like
Yeah.
Singapore's the more the food culture, how it's intertwined. Thailand's the more like going into the unknown, walking down like these alleys and just seeing these bright lights, smells, everything, like just eating everything. That's what Thailand is to me, just like new, constantly new. I'm gonna say Thailand.
Nice.
Yeah.
You might have had some other question. What food destination do you want to go to that you haven't been to yet?
Japan.
Yeah.
Like Japan. Like I've worked with a couple of Japanese chefs and like the way they look at food, like it's just a completely different, like it's that, again talking about a cultural thing, like it's just incredible how the Japanese look at food, how they treat food, how it works. And like a lot of people say like it's just that I said it's like stereotypes, like French cuisines, like the classics, the best, like that's it's Japanese. Japanese walk all over it. Like they the way they look at food, the culture of food, how it's treated, how it's cared for. Like I think they've always been miles ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I've been there, and they're what they would class as their shit food is fucking better than most of the stuff you get.
Yeah,
to be honest.
it's mad. Like I need to get out there. So all I've done is I've worked with Japanese chefs. They've come over for like a 4-hands dinner, crossover dinners. No, I need to get to Japan. Different, completely different.
Yeah,
that's it. Because fermentation, everything. It's always been going on in Japan. Like we're seeing it as if it's a new thing. Like certainly for me, like I wasn't really looking to ferment stuff like that before. Nordic countries obviously do it a lot, but like they've always been doing it. Like soy sauce, that's just fermentation through and through. If we had longer, I'd talk to you about soy sauce for about half an hour. Like, mad soy sauce. I like my soy sauce knowledge.
awesome.
That's
That's it.
That's
We're
it.
done.
Dan. Massive congratulations for winning MasterChef. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been, I feel like we could do like an hour on soy sauce, an hour on MSG. Who knows? Maybe there's a part 2 in the future. Maybe we'll see.
Cheers,
But,
man. Honestly, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Dan,
That's good crack. Sorry, I ramble on a lot, lads. This is what I do. I just start going.
It's great that you ramble. If you didn't, that'd be the worst
Yeah.
guest ever.
People always apologise for talking too much, and we're like, no, seriously. If you just came and didn't talk, that would be the worst thing.
Yeah,
ever.
that makes sense. Yeah, to be
Just
fair,
like, yeah, no, yeah, I did that. No.
You haven't had anyone like that?
Work, man.
We have. I'll tell you when we switch the mic. Awesome. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, cheers.